This is the best jacket for hunting down fighter pilots.
Что это за парень, о котором трески шорох? Вышел в ринг, готовый разделить любого пыли пол. Все говорят, он молод, его кулак молод. На то и сколот, он давно для драки ищет повод. Наводит страху на бойцов, парнишка свой в рубаху бьет пах. Пух и прах, те, кто метит ниже паху. Он вышел рост и весит бодрых 90. И с ног его ребята сбить, забраться непросто.
Sasha Ivanic from the film Behind Enemy Lines is one of the coolest villains of the early 2000s, so we decided to make a clone of his jacket. But before we get into the video, I want to take 10 seconds to let you know about our free rewards program, KommandoPro. Joining gets you a lifetime discount, and you'll be the first to know about limited stock products. Our inventory changes weekly, and things sell out fast. Now, why did we reproduce this jacket? Well, Sasha's athletic approach to hardcore violence really stuck with people in the 2000s. Almost immediately after its theatrical release, production photos from Behind Enemy Lines began circulating on internet forums. Model makers, military enthusiasts, and film buffs were also inexplicably drawn to Sasha and his blue track jacket. Then, just a few short years later in 2008, Rockstar released Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yes! Great!
To put it simply, this detonated a Slavic WMD in the minds of adolescents everywhere. Niko Bellic, the protagonist of Grand Theft Auto 4, was directly inspired by Sasha Ivanic's character. If Behind Enemy Lines was a spark that got the long gun and track jacket aesthetic started, GTA 4 launched it deep into American pop culture. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's get back to the beginning. Why was one tracksuited sniper so memorable in the first place? Well, Sasha is the key antagonist in Behind Enemy Lines. His main goal in the film is to capture and kill Lieutenant Chris Burnett, played by Owen Wilson.
Wow, look at this.
After his plane is shot down over Bosnia. Now, the film is based on the experiences of a real fighter pilot named Scott O'Grady, who was also shot down over Bosnia in '95. That said, he wasn't approached to consult on the film, and he wasn't paid for the film rights to his harrowing story. That eventually led to a lawsuit, but that's a tale for another time. Broadly speaking, the film gets some of the basics right. In '95, O'Grady was flying his F-16 on a mission during the Bosnian War when his aircraft was totaled by a ground-launched SA-6 missile. After a successful ejection and nearly a week evading enemy forces, he was rescued by US Marines. Thanks, SEER School. Now, that's where the similarities between O'Grady and Hollywood end. Unfortunately, there are no accounts of a deranged Serbian in a sexy track jacket hunting down an American pilot. But despite being a complete fiction, Sasha's character is intense and believable. Vladimir Mashkov's bearing in the film does a lot to establish a commanding presence with very little dialogue. During the film's 106-minute runtime, he only has a few lines. Where else have we seen iconic characters who only have a bit of dialogue? Sasha can be seen tracking down Lieutenant Burnett throughout the film like he's on the hunt for wild game. While the Bosnian Serb army is busy coordinating, Sasha is in the woods following Burnett's trail. While most soldiers in the film are outfitted with their army greens and belt kit, Ivanic stands out. He wears a blue Olympic shooting track jacket, a fleece underlayer, fingerless gloves, baggy cargo pants, and a pair of ankle-high hiking boots. Sound familiar? Well, the developers over at Grand Theft Auto 4 said that Niko was directly inspired by Sasha, and even went as far as to try to hire the actor who portrayed him as the voice actor for Niko. Niko is coincidentally a Serbian that wears almost the same outfit as Sasha and even has history fighting in the Bosnian Wars. Guess he's lucky he didn't run into Owen Wilson. Wow! Niko Bellic, in our opinion, is the most well-developed character in the GTA franchise, even beating out the dynamic trio from GTA 5. Bellic's backstory is rich, and Liberty City is the series' most grounded setting. It's hard not to come along for the ride as Niko gets into all kinds of trouble, criminal activity, off-the-wall schemes, and even bowling.
Niko, it's Roman. Let's go bowling.
Okay, man. We go bowling. I come to get you in the next hour.
Okay, man. I will see you soon then.
By now you probably understand why we're making this jacket, so let's get into the details of how we did it. We took great care to recreate the exact look from the film down to the fit and feel. On paper, design is deceptively simple. It's just a track jacket over a fleece, but aiming to fit a fluffy fleece under a track jacket and have it look good presented a few problems. First and foremost, we wanted both garments to look fantastic on their own and when together. This was tricky as early prototypes of the fleece were too bulky. Under the windbreaker, the result was more Marshmallow Man than Stone Cold Serbian. Obviously, we needed to make some changes. Starting off, we narrowed down the sleeves and added elastic cuffs to slim down the arms. Next, we raised the hemline and removed the elastic and pocketing around the waist to stop the fleece from bunching up and creating an artificial gut. Finally, the collar. What good is an early 2000s track jacket without the classic popped collar? We used careful patterning and material choices to get the popped fleece collar to hold without any special tricks. Overall, this process took several weeks, with 3 fleece samples, 2 track jackets to finally get it right for you guys. Which brings us to the embroidered details. It's not too obvious during the film, but Sasha is actually wearing merch from the Olympics. In 1984, the Cold War was still quite heated, and following the famous boycott of the 1980 Moscow Olympics, Yugoslavia hosted the 1984 Winter Olympics in Sarajevo. Sarajevo was special in that it was the first modern Olympics to not be boycotted in some form. Because of this, it had the highest participation rate of any Olympics during the Cold War. In many ways, it was also the last triumphant breath for the state of Yugoslavia. Just 8 years later, the breakup began along with a brutal civil war.
And the president of Yugoslavia's largest republic is warning his people to be prepared for war.
Yugoslavia, which the U.S. believes may be on the verge of coming apart at the seams.
The onset of the Bosnian War was the siege of Sarajevo, and many of the brand new Olympic facilities were heavily damaged in the fighting. Most notable of all was the bobsled and luge track, which was used as an artillery stronghold by the Bosnian Serbs during the siege. Today it's covered in graffiti, but you can still see the firing ports that were drilled into the concrete during the war. It's never fully explained, but we're guessing that Sasha's character was meant to be a biathlon competitor in the '84 Olympics, who enlisted or was conscripted into the Bosnian Serb forces. Now, while we're on the subject, we made our very own Sasha-inspired build of the rifle that he uses in the movie, a Sig Sauer SSG 3000 chambered in .308. Let us know in the comments down below if you want to see us make a video on that in the future. And that's it for our overview of the Sasha Jacket. We wanted to do this project since 2018, so it's exciting to finally release it. As we speak, the first run of jackets is finishing production in Serbia. If you'd like to get your own Sasha jacket, just go to KommandoStore.com. We have more information and a bunch of photos on the site. We couldn't do passion projects like this without the support of our customers. So thank you for your orders, encouragement, and enthusiasm over the past 11 years. We're putting a lot more effort into our YouTube lately, so please let us know how you like this video and what we could improve on for the next one. Your comments mean a lot and help us make better videos overall. Oh, and one more thing. If you like the Sasha jacket, we'd love to hear your idea for our next manufacturing project. Until next time, thank you for watching.
Yugoslavia, which the U.S. believes may be on the verge of coming